It didn't take much more than a bottle and 2 chairs to make a speakeasy. This is what Daniel Okrent said in his book, Last Call, The Rise and Fall of Prohibition. Today, join us for some stories. Get your own bottle, glass, mug, and relax. This is Speak Easily, and I'm your host, Krista Stauffer.
I never thought, because I remember, did we know kids with ADHD growing up? They were just the bad kids?
I knew them not in middle school or high school, but in college.
In college?
I was a resident advisor, and there was definitely, he was bipolar too.
Yeah.
But he had some things, and I was like, oh, you have things. You have mental health things.
Yeah. I just feel like when we were kids,
Yeah.
they were
just
just
nuts.
considered
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
They
can't sit still. They can't focus. Yeah.
Yeah. I got talks too much on my report card. That was in the gifted program of all places too.
I did not get that on mine. I probably got the she never talks.
Did you? You weren't.
I was,
No.
very
Were you a good student though?
I got A's and B's.
Yeah.
But I wasn't I'm a student. I wasn't in it to win it. I was just
I have to.
I don't want to fuck up. So I can't get a C because that's failing.
Yes.
But I can get a B and an A.
I like that.
Yeah.
I was the class clown. I was really proud of it too.
I don't see that.
No, I know. And I called home when I got the nomination or whatever, and my mom's like, "Oh, did you get anything else?" I was like, "Yeah, I got most talented, but I got class clown."
But I'm proudest about this, Mom.
I was most proud of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, most talented, whatever. I didn't care.
I know that. I want the world to know about the other thing.
It's a thing to put, on the resume.
Yeah.
I should keep it on there.
It really adds some personality to it.
I was a class clown 26 years ago. Oh, gosh. Yeah, 26.
I was going to say, I actually don't think I got nominated for anything, but I'm going to have to go back and look if
You
they
should go
gave
back
me a cursory thing as a senior. I don't know what they would have done.
Did we? I don't even remember. Did we vote on those? Did we nominate people?
No idea.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's been that many years.
It really has.
We just had our 25th this
High
past
school.
summer. Mm-hmm.
My college did something and I didn't go to it. I don't even know. 99. I graduated in 99.
Yeah. From high school or college?
From high school.
From high school.
So
So you're 25 this year then?
Okay.
Yeah, because I was 98.
Yeah, okay. Can you imagine if it was 99 for college? Wait, would that be better or worse? That'd be better.
Yeah,
Okay, never mind.
that'd be better.
Would it?
Wait,
No, that'd be worse. I
Yes.
can't do math.
I don't either. Here we are, two artists. And we're like,
So if you add the
7
3.
and no, do we divide? Ugh. It's so bad because my
PEMDAS.
kids are not good at math either.
I'm worried about that part actually, of
Yeah.
the helping them at home.
Uh-huh.
I do have friends who are math teachers
Okay.
though, so I feel like
You're
that's
gonna
going to
need
be
that.
okay.
Yep.
Good with the science, good with the arts, English,
Yeah.
math.
I was good at the English.
Yeah.
We learned this during COVID when we suddenly became homeschool parents. So fun that it was just both kids struggling, and I'd look at the math and be like,
Well, they changed the rules. They
Oh,
went
yeah.
from that one style to the other style and
Mhm.
didn't give the parents any
Mm-mm.
updating of information.
nope,
Because I don't think I understand the new style.
I don't either.
I haven't looked at it deeply, but I
Nope.
also don't want to. So.
Nope. Well, and the fact that we had to just memorize stuff.
Yeah.
We know our times tables because we had
For
to.
a year, we drilled it.
Yes.
Actually, I've forgotten some of my times table. I can do the 5 still.
Did you? There was a show in the 80s, and it was on PBS called Square One. Did you ever
Maybe,
see
but I
that?
don't have an anchored
I
memory.
was obsessed with it. It was like a comedy sketch show about math, of all
That's a
things.
talented
Like
group
they
of
had
people that
music
made it funny. Yeah.
videos. They had Math Man, who was like a Pac-Man kind of figure.
Hmm.
They had what do they call it? MathNet, which was like a Dragnet mystery series that
Okay.
they would go the full
Yeah.
week. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I still remember the 9's timetables because
For
of
that.
a music video. 999.
Okay, thank you. You
That
guys turned
crazy
into math
number
for a number
9.
song. Yeah. That helps. The songs help because Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas.
I
go through the
never
whole
had to
song.
learn that one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
still
why
have
we
that.
didn't learn that.
There's always a spot where I'm like, wait a
The
second. And then you make it
M's.
through. Yeah.
The M's when it starts to
Yeah.
just get into the
Massachusetts Mountain, whatever, Michigan, Montana.
New Mexico,
And then New
New
Mexico.
York.
Yeah.
That's the only part I remember. My
The
sister
M's
had-
and the N's, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's just a little bit more spoken instead of sung
Singy,
at
yeah.
that point. Are you
Yeah.
a singer?
No, I mean, I sang when I was in church. I would sing. I'm
Yeah.
not in church anymore. That's long gone. And I sing for fun,
Yeah.
but that's about it.
Does your kiddo sing?
She likes to, and I
Okay.
think she's mostly, we make up our own songs,
Mhm.
and then when we do sing songs that she knows, I'm like, I think you're on key for 4. It's hard to tell a little bit, but I think
Yeah.
she's doing it. So
What does
might
she like to do? What are her things?
Oh God, she likes everything.
Okay.
She does like to sing. She likes to play. She likes to boss you around. That's not surprising because
Well,
that's my child.
yeah.
She pretends, like acts out skits. Of course, she's in that like pretend
Yeah.
band. So it's,
Yeah.
mommy, we're here. This is this person, and they're
Mhm.
doing that, and they're doing this thing together, and you have to do this, but you can't do it the wrong way.
Yeah, we
So
get told real quick.
we do.
Uh-huh.
I think
Everything's
it's cute.
wrong.
My
It's cute.
mom takes it as like an offensive, like, I'm wrong. I'm like, no, she's four.
She's 4.
She's just messing around.
What is she going to be when she grows up?
We did the Korean that thing where you put out items in front of them and they pick. Because one of my
Yeah.
sister's friends was like, you need to do this with her, and I was
I've
like,
never heard of
okay.
that.
I really wish that I knew the name. If I, maybe we'll Google it and figure out.
Can
what the
we
name of it
fact
is.
check that? What
the
is it
name
like?
of the Korean child? Like first, it's when they turn 1.
Okay.
And then you put out these items in front of them that represent different things. So we
Mhm.
had like, I don't remember. I think we had point shoes,
Yeah.
a thermometer, a book, money, and something else. And she picked the thermometer. So I'm like,
Oh.
will she become a nurse or a
Okay.
health practitioner of some sort?
Is that supposed to guide them, or that's
I think
what...
it's just supposed to. I mean, I'm sure that there's a huge culture behind why
Yeah.
they do it, but in the way that my sister's friend explained it to me was just like, it's a fun thing that you just like, you do it now and then you see.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I would have picked whatever makes the
Shiniest,
least
yeah.
money.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's what I do now.
The ballet shoes.
The
then.
ballet
Yeah.
shoes, for
Yeah.
sure. But you were a dancer.
I did. Yeah.
You did. Is
Mhm.
that what you studied in undergrad then?
It is. I went to both undergrad and grad school for dance.
Goodness.
The undergrad was focusing on teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So I got all of the like developmental things about different
Yeah.
ages and what they're able to do and how to teach them appropriately, and physical things that are like, what your body can and can't do
Mhm.
realistically depending on how you're built. And then in grad school, it was with a choreographic emphasis.
Mm.
So it was all like storytelling and like how to
Mhm.
build works and pieces that told stories that
That's amazing.
had value. So
Are your family, were they dancers? Were you the
No.
anomaly? Like,
I was the anomaly. I'm trying to think if there's anybody in our family that danced. My extended family, they'll never see this. So they are so religious and Christian nationalists that when I told or someone told them that I wanted to dance, they're like,
it's of the devil.
it's of the devil.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's going to get pregnant at like 6 because she's dancing.
Because that's what causes babies. Yeah,
right?
dance.
Yeah. So
Is it Doljanchi?
sounds probably right.
Doljabadi?
Doljabe.
Full job, eh?
Yeah, it's a Korean tradition where you put a baby in front of items that kind of chooses their intention or career path.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We should do that to ourselves now.
I know, right? Just close your eyes
Be
and just
like,
feel where
I
you want to
still
go.
got the point shoes.
You
Where's
can
the
change
money?
it. Yeah. Where'd
it
money
go?
Tricks on you. They never put it out on the
They
table.
never did. They never, ever did.
No.
So your family background, just artistic at all? Or?
My mom.
Okay.
She painted, she drew, she did teaching, so there was a lot of
Okay.
creative things with that.
Yeah.
She plays all sorts of instruments, so like French horn,
Oh,
piano,
wow.
cello. We played instruments. My siblings
Mhm.
did. My dad sings. Or he
Okay.
did in church, but no dancing.
What did you play?
I did the violin for a
Okay.
very long time, and I liked it a lot.
Mm.
The little tiny bit of piano, and then it
Okay.
was dance. After that, it
Yeah.
was like just you have to
When
do
did you
dance.
start dancing? Young?
Pinky, like in the pink leotard phase where you're like
Oh.
2 or 3.
I love that.
Yeah, and I adored it and loved it. There was like 1 year in high school that I was like, I hate it. I'm taking off
Yeah.
because I never get to see my real friends.
Right.
And then I took that year off and I was like, they're so boring. those real friends
I don't like
are
them.
really boring. So went back
But
to dance.
I think it's probably like any other artistic endeavors. You get so close to the people. It's such
Yeah.
a shared experience
Yeah.
that those become your close people.
And you get that through sports, you get that through other
Mhm.
things, but like in just a regular hangout with your friends, you need a goal. You need a
Mhm.
project to work on together that's
Yep.
fun.
Yeah.
And that really does like people together,
Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm so envious. I wish I could dance. It just was not.
You can dance.
I can.
I do the phrase, if you can breathe, you can dance.
This is true. I'm a mover.
Mhm.
In the musical theater terms, I'm a mover. I can.
Mhm.
It just doesn't come naturally.
Mhm.
It takes me 5 times longer than everybody else to get it down, which is super fun in rehearsal.
Yeah, you're like, it's fine. I'm just going to hang out in the back and
Uh-huh.
figure this out by
Yeah.
myself.
And then these sweet dancers who are always
Yeah,
like
they
20
try.
years younger than me, they're like, well, let's walk through this. I'm
You're like, I'm not a moron. I
Can't
just
do it.
can't do it.
We did Rock of Ages there was one dance that I finally figured out, and this is the word. I'm hoping they hear this so they know not to cast me in this next time. I can't sing and dance at the same time.
It's hard.
Can't do it.
Yeah, it's challenging. I
I-
can't play an instrument and sing at the same
No.
time. Unless it's like really simple.
Yeah,
So it's like
it's the I can't play the drums. I can't
Mm-mm.
figure out how to make every body part work differently.
Mm-hmm.
I can't play guitar because I played cello, so I only know how to move the fingers up and down instead of like.
That and then like the rhythm at the same.
Yeah, I can't.
yeah.
We're doing opposite
It's too
things here.
much. Yeah.
But so you started like ballet and you did all forms. Was it competition or was it more?
It was always kind of the performance track, not competition track.
Mm-hmm.
I did start teaching at competition studios after I graduated from
Okay.
undergrad, so that was like a shift of like, oh, people
That's
do
a
this.
whole different
It's a
thing.
whole different world. It's completely different. But did a lot of ballet all the way through high school. Was all
Okay.
ballet point partnering, very classical, and then in college they make you take a jazz class and a
Mhm.
modern class. And I loved the jazz class. Bonnie Story was my teacher.
Mm.
She's amazing. She choreographs for like big movies.
Oh, wow.
High School Musical
Okay.
was
Oh,
one of the
wow.
ones like Legally Blonde, the
Yeah.
different dance scenes and that. So she's like in the Hollywood scene
Oh
of
my gosh.
choreography, and she was awesome.
Yeah.
Adored her. So I always loved jazz. And then the modern teacher hated the ballet department dancers, so
Mm.
she made it really painful.
Cool.
And then in grad school, I was like, oh, I really love modern, because I finally had modern
Interesting.
teachers that were
Ah.
like open and welcoming. And
Mhm.
it was this like, I should have been a modern dancer all along.
Yeah.
It was so like a shift.
Oh, that's amazing.
So yeah,
Modern dance is interesting.
it is. It's really like it sometimes isn't visually for the eyes. Like it's sometimes so abstract that like
Mhm.
even I watch it and I'm like, I don't love this.
What are we doing?
What are
Yeah.
we doing here? And then other times it's like you can feel it. You can feel when they move, or at least I can,
Mhm.
what it feels like inside, and it like makes you
Yeah.
want to do it with them. And I don't know. I
I
like it.
probably wouldn't say the same thing.
Sure.
I'll
that's fine.
watch them.
Yeah, you'll watch them do
I'll
it. And you're
take
like,
my-
that looks fun.
I'll take my new medication. I'll watch the whole thing.
Let me know what they put you on. No, just
What
kidding.
was the first performance that you can remember you got to dance in?
We actually have video footage of it. So do I remember it, or do I remember the video?
Well, the video.
You know?
Yeah.
It was in Florida. It was at a recreational dance program. I had the glitter tutu with the little pink ruffle frills, and I didn't know what I was doing.
No.
So I was watching the girl next to me who
Mhm.
knew every step,
Mm.
and at least I knew like she's the one to
She's the
follow.
one.
But it was just little toe taps and things, and
I love
it was
that.
very cute.
Watching little kids dance
It's
is
adorable,
the cutest thing.
and it's really interesting to see the dynamic. So I teach
Mhm.
actually at a recreation dance program now, so
Okay.
I get to see
Yeah.
that phase of my life now as an adult. And there's always like 2 or 3 that are like, I
Mhm.
know it. I know every count. You don't have to do it with me because I know exactly what
Yep.
to do when. And then there's those other kids that are watching that kid. And then
Mhm.
there's the third group that's just like, where
Eh.
am I? How did I
Ceiling.
get here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I think I did like ballet and tap
Mm.
when I was probably 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then we moved to Ohio and we didn't know.
Where did you live before?
Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we didn't know any of the places and we just sort of stopped. I did gymnastics too. I was good
Nice.
at gymnastics.
Yeah.
I won the headstand contest a couple of
Hey,
times.
Why don't you use that skill in your musicals?
Oh, I don't know that I want to do a headstand these
Can you
days.
sing and do a headstand at the same time?
Yeah, it wouldn't sound good.
Isn't that
Breath
what Pink
support.
does? Pink
Probably.
does a whole concert like upside down
Yeah.
just to make sure that she's strong enough.
She's amazing.
And then I heard Taylor Swift like ran a marathon to train while singing to train for her Eras tour. It's hard. It's tough.
That's too. No.
It's a lot. It's a
That's-
commitment.
It's too much.
It's beyond my pay grade of
I'm
what
not
I
gonna do that. I'm not gonna do any of that. No.
Yeah.
No. Again, when we did Rock of Ages, I had learned the dance. I thought.
Mm.
Then I got COVID and was out for a weekend.
Mm.
It never came back. So
They probably changed it on you too.
there's a good chance of that. Yeah.
Yeah. They're not being
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, we had 7 people out with COVID in one performance. This is like
That's
2 years ago when everything just came back for the summer.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
everybody got sick. Did you get COVID?
I got it twice.
Okay.
Different times. I
Bad?
forget when. Both awful.
Really?
Yes. And thankfully the very first time, it's like I was kind of sick with a cold, and then it
Mhm.
shifted, and
Ugh.
within minutes I was like, this is COVID.
Mm.
And I had tested before, was negative, and like it was a while, like a 2-week period of a cold.
Yeah.
And then I tested for that one. I was like, yep, you're positive. Got Paxlovid like within the last
Oh, wow.
with less than 24 hours notice, and
Ooh.
that helped.
Okay.
And then this last time, it's hard with the kids, single mom by
Mhm.
choice, so it's like it's just me and her. And
Yep.
with COVID, there's no one to come in and help
Nope.
because now you can't
can't.
contaminate someone else's family, and
Mhm.
Josie's contaminated because she's been around me. And at 4, like there's
There's no
no
personal space.
there's no separating.
Nope.
So I was like not comatose in a real medical sense, but like I could not stay awake. I couldn't sit up. She, hopefully CPS doesn't come for me. She's fine. She's alive. She's happy. She's well.
Everybody's fine.
But in the moments that I'm like, I would come back and be awake, she's got like a graham cracker box that she's just eaten out of, and she like got the yogurt out of the fridge, and there's like, she's fending for herself basically. And
You have to.
the doctors too were like, we can't help you. I'm like,
Nope.
no, this isn't okay. Like I
Mhm.
can't get support, and I can't take care of my child.
Uh-huh.
And so I found somebody else that like
Mm.
prescribed me Paxlovid, and then literally within, wait a little clicker, within like 4 hours, I went from literally comatose to being like, I'll go do the dishes now.
Oh, wow.
I can make a meal.
It goes that fast.
It did for me.
Interesting.
So
I did never have it bad enough. The first time I got it, I was kind enough to share it with the entire family. But again, it was, I think I spent a day hiding.
yeah,
And then the next day was like,
everyone's sick.
no.
Oh, no.
The house couldn't
It couldn't
thrive.
do it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So I masked for a little bit and then was like, whatever. And then it was just boom,
Bing,
boom.
bing,
2
bing.
straight weeks.
Which, right, then it's like, now you have to wait 10, whatever it is now, but like 10 days from that person, and now 10
Yep.
days from that person, and now is this person going to get sick again?
And
It's
that was
really
at the
hard.
time where the schools were still saying, if anybody in your
Yeah.
family gets it,
You're like, so we're just going to stay home then.
the
and-
kids, they were home for 2 straight weeks.
Yeah.
And then they went back on a Monday, and that Wednesday was a snow day. They were like, we don't want to stay home.
We're sick
They
of
were
this
so
place.
sick of
I
being
saw
at
my
home.
friends again.
I know.
Yeah.
I think the funniest moment though, I was on the mend. Husband was pretty well down. My eldest kiddo had it the worst at that point, just high fever and just feeling miserable. And we decided to watch the entirety of Schitt's Creek, top to
I
bottom.
love that. I wish that there were more seasons
I
of
know.
that.
It was so good.
It's a good
But at
one.
one point, kiddo comes out like miserable because I just wanted to watch this scene where she's at the winery because it's really funny. We have rubbed off.
Oh,
Clearly,
I love it.
but
Yeah.
It's nice to have kids as they get older that
Yeah.
you can share things with them.
Yeah.
I hope my kid doesn't listen to this. Okay, so the kid yesterday, 16,
Mhm.
totally fine. And I would never have dreamed of this conversation with my parents ever.
Oh, yeah.
My kid goes,
It's a different world.
Did you ever have a friends with benefits situation in high school? And I was like,
Let me tell you. You have to have those conversations though,
We
right?
do.
Because you have to be like, here's
Yep.
the information.
Yep.
You can make your choice. Here are the risks. Here are the benefits.
Well, and that was the next question was, do you think it's bad? And
Yeah.
I said, if it's consensual and safe. And I said, the hardest part is that you're probably going to develop feelings at some point in time.
And then not be friends later because it's going to end weird.
It's
Yeah.
going to not be good.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we can have those,
Yeah.
you know. But
Yeah.
then it also was sad because I was trying to go through the memory bank. And I'm like, did that? No.
No. Yeah. Yeah. Those conversations they're not the same. But those
They're
were,
not.
I mean, I don't know how religious your audience base is, so I'm
Yeah.
sure I'm offending some
We're
of those.
all over the place.
It is so taboo and it's so negative. Like you don't talk about it. And then that's where all the problems come.
Yes, I agree.
And it's so like, even at school. So with
Mhm.
Josie, I'm like vulva, vagina, all
Yep.
of those parts.
Yep.
And at school the other day, I walk in and they're like, well, we're saying vagina, but it's a potty word. I'm like, it's not a potty word. It's anatomically correct of a part
Right.
of their body. Like they're not
Yeah.
making some like cookie or something. And it's always that thing of like, it's because there's no negative
There's not.
connotation to an anatomical term about your
No.
body. So we should be able to talk about it.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But same thing with all of that stuff. I
I
feel
know.
like whether it's like,
Yep.
can I have sex with 6 men? I mean, you can.
can.
Here's benefits
safe,
and negative
right,
things
right.
about it.
Yeah.
Don't want that for you personally, but you can
No.
choose that if you want
Right.
to, you know?
It's such a different world. And I'm
Yeah.
thankful that we are having those
Yeah.
conversations because that was
No.
not,
Yeah.
it was, raised very religious. Like you don't do A, B, and C.
You don't dance because that will get you pregnant.
That's insane. But your immediate family didn't.
No, the
Okay.
immediate family was always awesome.
Okay.
They were very supportive. It was
It's
the ones up
out.
in Minnesota.
Oh, the Minnesota family.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Very
You betcha.
extreme. Very extreme. Yeah.
Whew.
So
That is a lot, though.
it is. We live a far enough away distance from them that it didn't
that's
really
true.
affect
So you were
me.
in Florida.
We were all over.
Okay.
Born in Chicago, or just outside of Chicago, Illinois. Moved to Florida in both Miami and Tampa areas.
Okay.
Pennsylvania, Erie, Pennsylvania, Sacramento, California. And then I went to college at University of Utah in Salt Lake City,
Mhm.
Utah. Then I went back to Sacramento, down to Irvine for grad school,
Mm-hmm.
back to Sacramento, Seattle for a year, and then moved out here. And that was like 12
what was
years ago.
here?
Brother and
Okay.
his sister-in-law with the kids.
Cool.
My nephew, I don't remember how old he was, 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And my sister's name is Jessica. And he's like, are you Auntie Jenny or Auntie Jessie in my ear? And I was like, I had nothing in Seattle aside from
Yeah.
just like escape. It's
Oh.
like, you should know who I am. So
Yeah.
I moved out here to be closer to them.
How old
And
is he now?
he is now either a sophomore or junior in college.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's a man. He
Ugh.
turned from this little sweet boy into like, he's a man.
It's,
It happens so fast.
it does.
It does. And
My kiddo's 13. And hearing him speak now, it's like, who's this man in my house?
when their like shoulders develop out, you're like, huh,
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
He's taller than me.
Yeah. Yep.
Doctor said probably 6'3" by the end of it.
Wow.
I'm like, okay.
They say it's like the average between, I just totally crossed my eyes because I'm talking about math. The average between the heights of you is
Yeah.
like kind of where they end up.
Uh-huh. But that's not it.
It's not it.
No, I'm 5'7". I actually said it in an audition the other day. I was like, I'm
5'7".
5'8" on a good day. So I was 5'8". I'm shrinking.
I am
My
shrinking
husband's
too.
5'11".
Okay.
So there's no rhyme and reason.
Huh.
I'm not.
I don't know if they
tall.
believe them. We'll find out in the
Yeah.
end.
Mailman? I don't know.
Maybe.
It was a
It's
weird time
legit.
of life.
I mean, we are sleeping.
There's a lot of wine during that time.
The friend with benefits there. No. Yeah.
Oof. He was hot. He was hot. Yeah.
I don't think I remember any of the mailmen. Any of them. Yeah.
Hey, mailman. So you ended up here. Where were like doing in Seattle? Were you doing photography at that point? When did photography come into the mix?
It came in grad school because like all artists, you have to do everything all at once for
Mhm.
yourself. And I had choreographed for my thesis a full length work, and
Mhm.
then it's a show, so like people have to come. So then you have to market that show.
Oh.
And I borrowed my parents. I don't remember Konichiwa. What are those cameras called?
I don't know.
Konica.
Hanukkah.
I
Yeah.
should know this better. I borrowed their camera to create some photos for
Yeah.
the poster, and it was like, this is fun. And it was always just kind of in my back pocket of like, I know dance, and I would like to photograph dance. And it just kind of hybrid switched. I was teaching. I had my
Yeah.
own dance company in California after grad school.
Oh wow.
And I was doing stuff for them where it was filming and filming and photo work for different shows and things. Got super burned out in Sacramento, so I went to Seattle just to get away. And it was hot in Sacramento, like
Yeah.
120 degrees.
Yep.
And Seattle, I heard, was like always in the 70s. I was like, that sounds like where I should be.
Mhm. Is it though?
It is. Like the warmest day we had was maybe like 83.
Wow.
And that was like like they don't even have air conditioning units in their places,
Oh,
which
that's amazing.
not important, but they did have a heat wave actually in
Yeah.
the last 5 years. And they were like, we should have air conditioning
We
units.
should maybe try this
But
thing.
it was like a short period.
The rain though? Did the rain ever get
Misty.
to you? Okay.
Occasional rain, like
Yeah.
actual rain, but most of the time it was just mist, which
Misty.
felt great.
Yeah.
You know,
I went there once, I think in January, and it was like
Yeah.
57 and misty.
like maybe it snowed like one time that I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the city shut down, probably.
A little bit. They're like, yeah.
We-
They're so chill. They're like, that's fine. Stay home, guys. It
I-
wasn't like an emergency.
Right.
Like here, like even today, they're like, I got a text from
I need to
AEP.
watch. Yeah, I did too.
We're keeping an eye on this extreme weather. And I'm like, the last time you said that, nothing
Uh-huh.
happened.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's how I
Here.
knew we were getting extreme weather.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was supposed to happen today.
Yeah. Rain.
Now we're under a watch.
Seriousness.
We did get some flickering though, so
I did see that. And there
Yeah.
might be a tornado outside right now.
okay. We did talk about that. Like, where would we go in here? The bathrooms.
I feel like well, maybe not the roof, but I feel like the whole building is like stone.
I think we'd be okay.
You'd be okay.
Yeah, I'm not real worried about it.
Pull just a sound thing over top of you.
Like, I'm
It's fine.
safe now.
For the last one, I did go outside and I was watching
Did you?
as much as I could. I'm like, you'll see it. You see it
You'll
start
see
to go
it, yeah.
down.
You'll
know?
hear it.
You'll hear it.
Yep.
So
I
and then-
remember my dad always talking about that in Denver. Like, you'll hear the whistle train sound.
Yeah, and that's when you know you should go downstairs.
I always go downstairs though.
Yeah, I know. Most other people do. And then they
You're-
text me and they're like, "Are you downstairs?" I'm like, "No, I'm outside
Yes,
watching the
I am.
clouds."
I'm watching this weather phenomenon. Did you see the eclipse?
I did. Yeah, we went middle of Ohio so we could see the 100%
Oh yeah, I did see
totality.
your pictures.
Yep.
Just random place or?
It was something on Facebook. It was like a farm,
Mm-hmm.
and they had prepared for there to be mass hordes of people,
Yeah.
and there was maybe like 75 of us there,
That's not
so
bad.
felt a little bit bad for them.
Yeah.
It seemed like they had really
Oh,
over prepared.
that's okay.
But it was cool. I don't think I've ever seen a 100% one, and it turned into Twilight, and it was like
Mhm.
crazy.
The weather change.
Yeah.
Was so bizarre, and how quiet it was.
Yeah.
Like, this is weird.
I tried to pay attention to the animals because it was on a farm.
Yeah.
I was like anything, but nothing really
Nothing.
crazy for that. I just like the idea of watching literally this globe in space move in front of
Mhm.
another one, and just how perspective resetting that is of like,
Insane.
we are flecks on
Yep.
a floating piece of rock.
Yep. We were discussing, my son was actually nervous for it. He didn't want to see it.
Hmm.
And I think he's in that weird
Is he a flat
teenage
earther?
anxiety. No, he knows better. But and we talked about it afterward of just like, in a way, it is a little bit scary.
Yeah.
Like, you know what's going to happen. They
Mhm.
have it timed to the exact minute.
Which is crazy. NASA's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
But it was fascinating. No, just and then when it was happening, he's like, "Oh, this is so cool." But there was that moment of like, "What's this going to be like?"
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And what weird plants are going to come down from the sky?
2 things. And I already forgot the first one, so we're gonna go with the second one. The week after,
Yeah.
Josie and her friends,
Mm-hmm.
feral. Like, they're normally a little bit feral, but that, like, week after, I had never seen her take such an extreme approach to how feral she was. And, like,
Really?
not able to be, like, calmed back down.
Yeah.
And, like, happy, but,
Right.
like,
Just
insane, like, screaming at the top of her lungs for no reason, and then, like, running off and then coming back and doing it again, like, what's going on? All of her friends were like that too, so I'm blaming it on the solar eclipse of, like, that was the thing that
Yeah.
happened.
And the
Sounds-
weather was very weird.
I don't remember how the weather was after that.
It just, like, that day was beautiful, and then it went cold again and gross and rainy.
Oh, yeah.
And
It, like, reset winter.
mm-hmm. Yeah, because I had to whip the coat back out.
I remember the other thing was that some people were preparing for it to be, like, make sure you have a food storage and water storage. So I think, like, did you hear that?
No.
I was seeing it in different places, like the Y2K thing. Of,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
make sure you've got some sort of,
unplug your computer at midnight.
yeah, all that. I, like, feel like some people were setting it up for that. I'm like, it's an eclipse.
It's an eclipse. This happens
Yeah.
all the time.
And someone talked about how amazing it is that the moon is exactly the distance from us
Mm-hmm.
to match the exact width. I was like, that is kind of
It's kind of
interesting.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did that?
I do like
I'm not
that.
religious, but who did
Yeah.
that?
Well, Ben and I were saying that too. And he's just like, I'm not a man of God, but it sure makes you think
Kinda
like,
curious, yeah.
we must be pretty special to have
Yeah.
this happen to us. Yeah.
Mhm.
So eclipse aside, it was
It was cool.
it was very cool. And I'm
Yeah.
glad we got to see it. And
Yeah.
I'm
Me
glad
too.
the kid made it through. We were a little nervous.
Yeah, was
about
he
it.
like in the corner?
No, but he talked about it before, just like, I'm really nervous for this.
Hmm.
And we kind of had to drag him out to go see it, but we went out to Marysville so we
It's
could
like,
see
you're
the
murdering
totality.
me. You're taking me out into a field to be
Yes.
murdered by the eclipse.
Yes, we are. We are. Yeah. Anyway, so you moved here. Did you
Mhm.
have intentions of doing what you're doing now? Because everything
Um,
kind of travels with you.
it travels with me, yeah. I don't know that I had a whole lot of plan because I was 20
Yeah.
something. I was like, I can do whatever I want,
Right.
and there's no risk of being homeless or
Mm-hmm.
and plus in the arts, you're like, you never have money, so what's
No.
the difference? You don't need to
Like,
have security because you
meh.
never had it before. So I came out here. I knew Ballet Met was here because of Jessica Brown, who is still a company dancer. Her brother was married to my high school best friend.
Oh, cool.
And so because of that, I was like, oh, there's a ballet company
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Wouldn't have known about them otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got here, I applied for like a teaching position, and at the time did not hear back from them for a while.
Mm.
And then I think it was by August,
Mm-hmm.
they set me up to teach Dinesha's old classes at the
Okay.
McConnell Art Center, but she was still teaching one before me.
Yeah.
So we had this like 15-minute crossover period, and that's how my friendship with Dinesha Williams started.
I love her.
It was such a fun little intro. And then marketing department had that was little part-time hours, so it was like
Yeah.
not livable.
Right.
And then a marketing assistant position opened up, and I
Nice.
applied for that, and eventually got that one too, and just kind of shifted this position to what it is.
Oh, I love that.
And like, yeah, dance teaching, choreography only goes so far, and then your
Mhm.
body starts to not do it. And the photography, it was just like a cross path. Like, this is going
Nice.
down and photography is
Yep.
coming up, and it's something I can still do and be
Mhm.
involved in dance specifically, but then other art forms.
Yeah.
And it's nice watching the company dancers on stage while I'm filming or photographing, because I can still feel the feelings that I had being on stage
Oh,
doing
that's
those same
awesome.
things. So it's like, I
Yeah.
still get to live through it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. Because
Yeah.
there is an expiration date for a dancer.
Yeah. And I mean, again, modern.
Yeah.
A lot longer. You can
Yeah.
do it. I forget her name, but there's somebody that was dancing till like her
Mhm.
80s. But ballet there's a cutoff.
What's the typical age? Like 30?
I feel like for ballet, it's probably around 30, 35. And there are some that go a little longer than that.
Mhm.
And then you can come back as like a character role.
Right.
But typically, like as a lead principal, I think if you're still doing it and you're in your mid 30s, that you're fucking awesome
Yeah.
because you're still doing it.
Is it just that hard on the body?
I think it's really hard on the body, and then sadly, ballet is very about the aesthetics. So I think at a certain point because what? It's about 30 when you stop, things start to decay.
Yes.
We start dying at
Things
30.
go southward too.
And I think just that part of that shift, you lose muscle mass,
Yeah.
you lose, cognitive abilities. And it just, there is a limit to what they will accept on stage as a visual thing when
Yeah.
you're a certain age with ballet. It's gross. I hate saying it out loud.
I know.
Because
But
it's not what I would believe,
No.
Yeah.
But it's part of
It's part of that art
what
form.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting art form too. Like, where
Yeah.
did ballet even come from?
Yeah. Elitist white Europeans.
Okay.
It's a very racist art form.
Interesting.
It's very not okay to change,
Yeah.
adapt, and inclusive of other things unless it benefits them. And then the Nutcracker is like the most racist production I've ever created. We do it every year.
I'm not a fan.
Slowly make it better. We slowly make it better, but it still is always like, this feels, and there's like pedophilia with the uncle.
Oh yeah.
Or the, Drosselmeyer.
Yeah. Yes. Who's not really the uncle, right?
I don't know. Yeah. I'm sure there's some sort of story written down where it is or it isn't, but everyone does their own like adaptations of how that sits. So I don't know. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
I thought it was beautiful as a kid, and then your eyes open up to the world that it is, and then you think,
oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, I feel a little uncomfortable with some of this. Yeah.
Do you, when you choreograph, is it because I'm not a dancer and my mind doesn't typically, do you have a story that you follow with the dance?
It always depends on what initiates it, I suppose. Like sometimes it is music and the music just moves you.
Yeah.
And you can feel and see what happens to match that kind of thing. And other times it is idea generated of like, I want to tell this story, or I want to tell this concept. So really it could be, it's anything. Depends on kind of where you're going. Some people only do one way, some people only do the other way.
What is your favorite thing to choreograph, or kind of music, or?
I always really loved the Vitamin String Quartet kind of things.
Okay.
Where it's a really common known song, but it's made into something classical.
Yeah.
I think that in general, I feel like anytime they include something pop culture-y in arts, like I just went and saw Cirque du Soleil.
Oh yeah.
The Crystal.
Okay.
And it's first of all, I love them as an organization. I hope that inside they love what they do too, and they're not like mistreated from the outside. Like I adore Cirque du Soleil, and they had these musicians playing the entire way through. Amazing. And then they had Sia, the Chandelier song, and they had like, I don't know, I can't remember what it was, but another pop song.
Yeah.
And like in all of this gorgeousness, it suddenly was just like, I know that one.
People like that though.
And it just it like clicks into that sense of familiarity, which I think is fun.
It is. I think it's why we like covers so much.
Yeah. Right.
Or we hate them, one or the other.
If they're done well, we like them.
Well.
If we don't like the way that they've been done, we don't like it.
The postmodern jukebox, those are the ones I always enjoy.
Yeah.
It's like, I never liked this song by the original artist, but I like it
now. I like it now. I did choreograph to a few of those. I don't remember which ones they were, but I remember that was one of my search terms of like Vitamin String Quartet. Did they do it? Did this company do it? So, yeah.
And they use a lot of Broadway folks too, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because they know what they're doing.
They do. Yeah.
So when you started with Ballet Met, then because you're basically their principal photographer now.
Yeah. They didn't have an official role. They had Will Shively, who was doing project work for them.
Okay.
Of the season photo shoot. And then he would do some artsy things here and there, I think. And then Jackson Sarver was taking photos sometimes of their performances. And they had another photographer that was sometimes doing photos of their performances. Yeah. And I am, I think, an equal part of creative and logistical.
Okay.
So when I came in, I was like, you don't, this isn't doing it for you. Like, this isn't covering your basis of what you need to market the company. I get that that's cool looking, but that doesn't serve to sell tickets to this show. Right. And that's good to sell tickets to the show, but it's not going to help you elsewhere. So and Lynette Shai was, at the time, gosh, what was her title? Marketing manager when I got hired in, and Terrence Womble was the marketing director. He switched to the Jazz Arts group at some point, and she's stepped into the marketing director role, and now she has her own arts marketing company. Oh, nice. It's like super awesome. Oh. So with her, like, she was one of those people where I just made eye contact. I was like, we just had a complete conversation. Like, I completely understand. And she was very supportive and helpful of trying to like create this role that she knew that I could do and do well. And that was essential because I think the organization itself is so adverse to trying new things. They're scared to fail. because
Fair.
they're always on this like, what's the opposite of abundance mindset? Starvation mindset.
Yeah.
Like, if we lose this one
We're
thing,
done.
we're just going to be done, which I don't know that they would say out loud, but like has that vibe,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So she was very supportive of trying to create that position for me. And then Edward Liang became the artistic director, I think the year after I started working there.
Okay.
And it took a little while, but then at some point it was just like, yep, that's your title. It was not the title, it's digital media producer, because they wouldn't technically, like, I'm a creative director,
Right.
or, you know,
Yeah.
but I can't have the word director in the title because that's a different pay grade. So we came up with some other title that was sort of descriptive of what I did at the time.
I love making titles.
I know. It's like, shouldn't you come up with this?
Right.
Why am I the
Why
one
am I-
coming up with my title?
This is my job.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But so now I've been doing it. I mean, as long as Edward was here, which was 10 years plus
Has it
one.
been 10 years?
Yeah. Is it 10 or 11 now?
Oh
I
my
guess last
gosh.
year was his 10 years. So now this is his 11th year. So I've been there for 12 years.
And this is his last production coming up.
Yes.
Actually saw him on TV at the gym this morning.
Did you?
Yeah.
With the dispatch, or who was it with?
With
No,
Cameron, what's his face?
yeah. What day is this? I knew about it, but I
Good
thought
Day
it was
Columbus.
next week. Okay.
What is Cameron
Fontana.
That's it. Yes, they were sword fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the studios? It was in the studios.
Yeah.
That's right. We switched it from being show week to the week before that.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. And we have a tour. Ballet Met has a tour in Salt Lake City, which I was very like, can I come?
Ooh.
And they did not ask me to
Aw.
come. It's fine. So Columbus's season ends with Romeo and Juliet,
Okay.
and then the company itself is still continuing on to do it
In Salt
in
Lake
Salt Lake
City.
City.
Oh, wow.
Is it Romeo and Juliet they're doing in Salt Lake City, though?
Interesting.
Or is it something else? I should know, but
That's
I don't know.
okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to know everything.
I don't. I actually aim to not know everything.
I
It's
am the
better that way.
same.
Yeah.
Top to bottom.
20s, I was like, I know everything. And now
Mhm.
30s, like, don't ask me because I don't want to know.
Nope.
I don't want to be charged with that.
Nope.
I don't want to be responsible for that information.
Mm-mm. I also don't feel like I can learn a ton of new things anymore. I mean, I'll pick up little things here and there and keep my brain sharp, but
I think it's time. I don't have time to dedicate to like actually
Right.
learn something new.
yeah. If there
And
was,
it's
what would you want to
sporadic.
learn?
I always have loved cooking,
Mm-hmm.
and the baking of breads is not my strong suit out of all of that. So I would love to have time to like figure out how to make a really awesome sourdough, or like what's the best pizza crust out there kind of thing. So that would be and then woodworking or like building. I love
Cool.
creating stuff. So it's just like, I want to make
To do
something. I want to make a piece of furniture,
Yeah.
functional piece of furniture that I can like
Maybe
custom do.
when we retire from our arts jobs, because, you know, our retirement package is so strong.
So strong. That will be when I pick it up.
Before we die.
I do it now, but again, it's one of those things where it's like I have 10 minutes, or I have a half of a day that suddenly showed up that I can do this thing. So it's not something you can build upon.
Right.
I took a woodworking class like last year once, and now I'll do some projects this summer, but like I don't know.
Did you pick any weird habits up during the lockdown? Did you do any of the weird?
Not getting dressed in the morning at all for the entire day. Is that a weird habit? Like
No.
basketball shorts and ratty t-shirts. And now that's like, I only want to be in those. I got dressed
You did get dressed
today. Not in my most beautiful shirt, but
No, I like it.
a shirt and pair of
shirt.
pants.
A shirt. A clean shirt.
A clean shirt and a pair of pants.
I didn't pick up any weird hobbies or anything like that.
Oh, like that. That's what you
Yeah.
meant. That's what you meant.
Well, I mean,
Because the whole like flour went basically like unavailable because everyone was like, we're going to figure out how to bake.
we're gonna bake now. I
Yeah.
didn't bake a thing.
I actually was really busy in the pandemic because of my art,
Oh.
like the field that I work
Yeah.
in with the photos and videos and switching into that. So I had my most successful year
Mhm.
in that first year of the pandemic, which I know I'm like blessed. Like most people
Yeah,
were like, I
significantly.
struggled to survive that first year.
Yeah.
So I don't like to like toot my horn about it because it's
Well,
like,
I don't.
I'm sorry. I had a good year.
Well,
But-
we kind of experienced that here too, is
Yeah.
because of video.
Yeah.
Everybody
We
wanted
needed
video.
it. We needed it to
Yep.
exist.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like that actually worked out well for content creators.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh no, you do need this.
You absolutely
And
need them.
this
They
is what
are
sells.
essential. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So when did you start then with the Ballet Met dance photography? Was it right away with that?
It probably took about a year and a half to really establish that
Okay.
position and get everyone on board.
Mm-hmm.
Sherry Mitchell was the executive director at the time, and she was very adverse to any sort of change.
Okay.
So it took a little while to get her comfortable with it. I had to
Mhm.
like prove that I could do it, which is fine. Sometimes it's insulting, but it's also like, that's fine. You don't know. I get it.
Yep.
You don't know who I am. I'm
Yeah.
some 20-year-old coming in and saying I can do something, and
Mhm.
you're older than me. And I
Right.
think if someone did that to me too, I'd be like, can you show me your work first? So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah.
How do you capture them? That's what I want to know. Like, you're able to capture the most
Yeah.
intricate moment.
A lot of it is the training. Like
Yeah.
ballet has its language,
Mm-hmm.
and occasionally, and I think too, working with Edward for so long, like I know his
Mhm.
language, so I know what's going to
Mhm.
come roughly next. It'll always
Mhm.
be a little bit different, but
Yeah.
just by how he sets it up.
Okay.
When it's a brand new choreographer that I've never seen before, those are the times where I'm like, oh God, I failed. I didn't get any
Yeah.
good photos. And then there still is like enough. There's plenty. Because I still know the dancers too, and like can read their body language with what's happening.
Mhm.
But there's things like if a dancer starts to lean that way, they're not going to go that way. They're going to go that way. You know, like
Okay.
little things. And if they do a
Yeah.
glissade, they're probably going to do a big jump. So there's those little things. And knowing the musicality, like
Mm-hmm.
I can hear when it's going to be a moment, and if the choreographer takes that moment, then it's going to happen, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then I just got a picture that I'll throw away, you know? So.
Do you photograph? I know you've done some theater stuff as well.
mhm.
Do you do all different art forms of photography?
Yeah. I have done everything. I think I've done the opera.
Mhm.
Well, I've done mostly video for the opera, but we'll be doing photos
You
tonight
do
of
the
things like that.
photos.
Musical theater, so short or stage, and working
Mhm.
with those guys, which is nice to have that hybrid of singers and dance
Mhm.
together. I have photographed sculptures and
Mm.
paintings, and
Those are a lot easier, probably.
they
They
don't
stand
move.
still.
Yeah, they don't move. So yeah, I can't think of an art form that maybe I haven't done. I'm
Yeah.
struggling to even stretch my brain to that point.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is there an art form you don't enjoy as much
Um,
that you wouldn't opt for?
that's a hard one. Because probably, I think it really comes down to the people, though. I think that's my main thing.
Yeah.
If I feel akin to them, and I think what they're doing is good,
Mm-hmm.
and I can feel their passion, I don't care what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I do some work with Worthington Industries,
Okay.
and they build propane tanks.
Yeah.
And the first job that I had, they were like, "Do you want to do that?" I was like, "Sure."
Yeah.
By the end of it, I'm like, I love propane tanks because
Interesting.
they're so passionate about all of the things that you can do
Aw.
and adjust with it. So it's that, right? Like,
Yeah.
as long as they're good and as long as they're passionate about what they're doing, I can jam. Let's do it.
I love that.
What is it? Let's see.
I'll do
So,
it.
yeah. If they're awful, terrible people, then that taints, obviously, like,
Yep.
I hate your work.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. But it's not fun, right? Like,
No.
negative energy
Yeah.
breeds negative energy. So,
Oh,
yeah.
man. I'm just fascinated. Like, every time I see you doing photography stuff, it's just like, how do you?
I'm so cute when I'm doing it too. It's like
You
this
are
really
so cute.
hunched position with the weird stance and the troll look that I have on my body.
Do you have to like stretch out before you?
I get sore muscles in really weird places.
Yeah.
And weddings are because you're holding a 10,
Yeah.
15-pound thing for like
Yes.
12 hours,
Yeah.
10 hours. I actually don't do 12 hours anymore.
Uh-uh.
So there's a spot behind my shoulder blade that is perpetually like
Ooh.
if you touched it, I would just melt for like, thank God, thank you for touching it.
Oh.
And I do think about, we were talking about pink cross
Mhm.
training and
Mhm.
Swift cross training. I'm like, I should probably cross train and do some like
Yeah.
actions to strengthen up that
Yeah.
muscle group. So yeah, there definitely are things. It's all upper body.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I always look at Terry Gilliam.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's
Buff. Yeah.
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 But he's like, I have to.
I need to have that commitment to working out.
I can't believe
I
how
get
old he is,
busy.
too.
I don't know how old he is.
70.
Wow.
Yeah.
He looks good.
He does look good.
I don't think that I look that good.
I won't. I can guarantee that.
Yeah.
The jeans.
The things just start to melt
It
down.
does. It's
Yeah.
so much. All
Yeah.
the new wrinkles and
It's just it's fun. It's enjoyable.
But we don't have a whole lot of options.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
once again, we're artists. We can't afford to get the work done even if we wanted to.
No. Yeah. Well, and that, I mean, I have been struggling with that with middle age. I'm
Mhm.
42 years old.
Woohoo! Young.
Young, so young. And just for the difference for women and men. And I don't know if they feel differently. I don't know their perspective. I just know for myself, I was having these things of like, I have to continue to look good as a visual person
Yeah.
because people will be less likely to hire me who don't know me. based on how I look. If I look,
Yeah.
saggy and gross, like they're gonna think that my work is saggy and I don't know.
Mm.
Like there's some necessity to feel
Yeah.
like you look a certain way to
Mhm.
be able to be legitimate.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think some of that too, I wonder if it's not like our raised in the 90s
Yeah.
thinking
Right.
of like, this is what you need to look like and this is what you have to appear as. I
Yeah.
don't know.
And I don't think I've ever looked at someone else and thought, nah, they're not a good photographer just based on how
Mhm.
they look,
Mhm.
But it is, I think as a business owner though too, like you're gonna
Yeah.
have meetings and that's
Yep.
that you have to dress, for the job you want kind
Mhm.
of mentality. And it's like, do I have to take my basketball pants off? Yeah, I do. Okay.
Yeah.
Do I have to wear a suit? Not doing that.
No.
I don't know. It's
No.
it's an interesting, I love fashion. I just don't
Mhm.
do it. I
Mhm.
don't want to put my energy into it. And it's
You don't have to.
that whole thing always I struggle with it of like,
Yeah.
should I wear nicer pants? I don't know. Should I be artsy and just go against the grain?
You should.
I
Dress up
usually
like
do. Yeah.
David Bowie in Labyrinth.
Yeah.
That's the job I want.
Honestly, we need more colorful craziness. We went to
Mhm.
Dollywood, Josie and I, for spring break,
Aw.
and the amount of pink sequins. I know, but I laughed. I was like, I should have a pink sequins jacket in my wardrobe just for fun.
Just for fun.
Why can't I wear that?
Yeah.
Why can't I look cute like that?
When I started working for the opera, everybody had their Chuck Taylors.
Yeah.
And I found a pair that was pink. And yeah, I mean it's in support of Opera Columbus.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
then I came out yesterday and my kiddo goes, so guess what? I figured out that with 2 pairs of heavy socks, I can wear your pink Converse. It's
Oh.
like, 1, why?
Yeah. Why was that the
2,
goal?
no.
Oh, they were trying so hard. They're like, how do I get into those shoes?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do we just buy them a pair of pink Converse?
Probably.
Yeah. I'm a sucker
Yeah.
like that. Anytime I see
know.
like they want something, I'm like, I will get that. For you."
Yeah. It's nice too at their age for both of them because they don't have a lot of stuff that they talk about
Yeah.
wanting.
Yeah.
Or my son will be like, "Oh, I want this Oculus. $400? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it's
Yeah.
not going to happen." But the oldest one was like, "I'd really like to get a record player someday." I'm like,
We can do that.
down with that.
I just bought one for $110. It's not the best quality record player,
well,
but it's a record player.
I mean, I had the Fisher Price one.
Yeah.
My sister and I used to try to do like the scratching on with our Sesame Street.
Did it work?
No.
Oh, so
It was too
funny.
cheap to do that.
Oh,
But yeah.
Josie wants a robotic dog.
Okay.
I don't know where she saw it.
Oh.
What she described to me, and I think she might have shown me a cartoon that maybe had it. I don't remember.
Okay.
It looks a lot like that dog from what's that scary TV series?
Black
Black Mirror.
Okay.
There's an episode where there's like mechanical robotic dogs that just start
Ooh.
killing everyone.
Oh, fun.
It looks a lot like that.
Okay.
And she wants it.
Great. That's what you want in the
It's
house.
$7,000. I'm like, I'm not getting.
$7,000?
First of all, I'm not getting that for her anyway. Like
No.
that, it would creep me out to be in the
Well,
house.
yeah.
But then I'm like, it's $7,000, and she has no
Mm-mm.
perception of money, so she's just like, but tomorrow, right? Like, no, sweetheart, probably never. You could and we have switched into the when you are an adult and you
Mhm.
have your own money,
You
you
absolutely
can then buy it. So she talks about her adult money
Okay.
as a future thing. I'm like, okay,
You're like,
it's a good
yeah.
shift.
Go into the arts. It'll happen.
Parenting.
We did a Furby phase.
Mm-hmm.
We got both kids a Furby for Christmas, and luckily they got over them pretty quick because they
Yeah.
were
Were
creepy.
were they expensive? I don't remember if they were
I don't
expensive.
think
They were just with their like weird eyes. that were,
weird
like,
eyes,
blink.
and they would start talking.
Mm-mm.
When no,
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. We also had a talking Elmo that was clearly a
I've
knockoff.
seen that actually, and I can hear it in my
Yep.
head.
Yep, and it said
Tickle me or something.
we had Dance with Me Elmo,
Okay.
but when you pressed it, it would say Dance with Elmi. It was like, I
The
think
knockoff
we
brand.
got this really cheap.
I like it. I
mean,
I would handle that because that
it
would
was
be
so
funny to
funny.
make you crack up versus feeling like
Yep.
the dog got possessed and is going to kill you in the middle of the night.
It was a passing down from what my parents did to me because, like,
Yeah.
remember I don't know if you would have
Teddy
known.
Ruxpin. I
Did you
remember
have a
that one.
Teddy
I
Ruxpin?
did. Yeah.
Like the legit
Loved that thing. Evidently, yeah, I think I did.
with
I
the
don't think-
tapes in the back?
Mhm.
Man, I
Sorry.
never had one.
I'm so sorry.
I wanted one.
You can get one now,
I
even
don't
with your
really-
nonprofit arts money.
I really don't want one now because I'd be creeped out by it.
Yeah.
The one that I wanted was a Lassie Bear.
Hmm.
They were a big hit with the Lazarus stores
Okay.
downtown. It was just like a Christmas white teddy bear.
Yeah, I can't.
And so for Christmas, we got white teddy bears.
That
It's
weren't
like,
the
this is not.
Isn't that? I mean, that's
Lassie.
marketing. That's
It
marketing,
is.
to teach young, impressionable minds that it has to be the specific kind.
But that's what we did.
I know.
They still do that.
I know.
Really.
I do enjoy telling Josie like that you only want that because the marketers wanted you to want that. And so she's like, "Is this an ad?" I'm like, "It is an ad."
It is. Oh, good for you. Start
Teaching
getting
her
it out of them.
strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Man, what was your desired gift that you never got?
it was something I actually lost. I didn't lose it. My mom got rid of it. And I'm sorry, Mom, I'm going to bring up the story. I had the most adorable red dress with a little like poofy skirt underneath it.
Aw.
And it had this little like asymmetrical, and she gave it, it probably didn't fit me.
Yeah.
It probably no longer fit me. But I found out that she got rid of it, and I was devastated. I wanted my red dress back. And now as an adult, like I do have some of those old clothing items that I can like show Josie. And I'm like,
Aw.
and here's the red dress that my mom can't show it to you because I
You
don't
can't-
have it.
I don't have.
So
Does she wear any of your old clothes?
we, my mom, the baptism outfit,
Okay.
I put it on her because we're not religious again,
Yeah.
so she was never baptized. So I put it on her and took pictures when she was like 9 months or whatever the
Yeah.
appropriate age was for that.
Aw.
But that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was passed down my dirndl.
I don't know what that is.
It is a German traditional outfit. So when Mom, she won a singing competition to study in Graz, Austria, and we went to visit.
Damn.
And typical wear at the Oktoberfest is the men in the lederhosen and the women in their dirndls. So
That's
I
what
have
those
a
are called.
sweet little green dirndl. Yep, it looks like kind of the straps here.
Uh-huh.
Has a little apron with it.
Okay.
It's in my basement.
I just thought those were called lederhosen for both genders.
It is a dirndl.
A dirndl.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one where it makes the women's boobs come back up? Like,
Buchtenhalter. I don't know.
You made that up.
I totally did.
Yeah.
I took 4 years of German. 5. No, I took 5.
Ich bin eine Journeymer. I took like a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably all I remember.
That's about my knowledge left
Yeah.
of it.
I took French. I took like a season of Spanish.
A season.
They all blend.
There's
So I can like say
there's a
one
lot of-
sentence and just transfer through them. But
Germlish and
yeah.
yes. I loved German, but it's not very useful.
yeah.
Although I have played 2 German characters now, so maybe a little.
All right.
I don't know.
It helps
It does.
with the accent. I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Although I had to play a man that was German.
Oh.
It was a woman. I don't know. It was very strange.
Josie's donor is, I think, either 100% German or very significantly German.
Oh.
So when I got pregnant with her and
Yeah.
had her, and I think I might have some German, but like mostly
Yeah.
Swedish, Polish. So it was just like, I have to teach her about German culture.
Oh wow.
So we go to the Oktoberfest every year.
Yes.
And that is the extent of what I have figured out to do
Maybe
for her
I
yet.
have an outfit for
You
your kiddo,
might.
depending on size. Seriously, I want to see this thing worn again.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I mean, I got it when I was 4. So
She's
that's
4,
like
Yeah.
40-year-old dress.
and I can take a picture of it and
I
then
would
give
love
it back
that.
to you. Me
Yes,
too, you
that
know?
would be great.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I should do is just every year have somebody
Yeah.
wear
It's
that.
now your turn.
Your dirndl year. It's your dirndl year.
Aw, it's so
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah, my kiddo wore it to Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
1 year.
1 year. That's, I mean, close.
About all you get out of it.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only piece of anything I have from growing up.
Yeah.
Clothing wise. Like, I don't think we saved stuff.
I think I have like a onesie that
Yeah.
had something on it too. I
Aw.
don't know. Something. There's like a storage box of things I have.
Do you find it hard to keep things? Like, I'm kind of an anti-hoarder.
I am also, I often throw something away, and then like
Uh-huh.
when it comes back in style, I'm like, damn it, I should
I
never have
know.
thrown that away.
I know.
With Josie's stuff, because it now has sentimental value, which I was not a sentimental person
No,
at all
it's not.
before having a child. And so now it's like, if I hold it up and I can see the picture that I took of her in it, that's going in the safe forever box.
Yeah.
And if it's like a Target t-shirt, I'm like, toss it. And still, that being said, my mom pulled out shirts from my toss pile, and this Christmas made me a little tiny blanket with it, and I still cried.
Aw.
I'm like, I didn't even want those shirts anymore, and I still cried seeing those little
Oh.
shirts all sewn
Well, now you
together
get
into
to
a
keep
blanket.
them.
Yeah.
I remember my mom, when she was moving out of her house, she had a box of, it was like my memory box from
Mhm.
high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so excited to get it. And I went through every single piece. And that was it.
Yeah.
Then I threw it out.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't,
A longevity to it.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, books and things that I kept. And I think I kept a note from a friend who passed away just a
Yeah.
couple weeks after we graduated. Just that was sentimental. But
Yeah.
I don't need to know the show program from when I was in Oklahoma. Like, I don't.
My mom does have all that stuff, all
Yeah.
the ticket stubs, and as many playbills as she can remember. I think some of that's interesting
Yeah.
when you're a kid and then you become an adult and you
Mhm.
realize, like, oh, I did something with
Yeah.
someone famous now.
Yeah.
Like Robbie Fairchild is a famous ballet dancer.
Okay.
And I went to summer intensive with him, and he was in the like level below me. And he's always shot up a little
You're
lower than me.
You were below me at one
But
point
he
in
was this
time.
little kid in this
Aw.
program, and he
Yeah.
was adorable. And now I'm like, oh, he's hit the top.
Goodness. Good for him.
Kind of crazy. So those kinds of things I wouldn't maybe
That's
remember.
true. That's true.
I do like reading the diaries just to see how stupid I was and just
Oh, yeah.
awkward and like, why were you even thinking these
Mhm.
things?
Mm-hmm. You know what? There was a comedy group that did a night of, because there is a whole podcast called Mortified, where people
They would read my diary the whole time.
Yes, and people would come up and share their diary or journal entries from when they were teens.
It's terrible.
We need to do that. Joe, write that down. We need to have a Mortified night
Mm-hmm.
where we have people come in and read diary and journal entries. I'm getting thumbs up. So it's a
It could maybe be anonymous too, so that we don't have to like relive. I just imagine reading that and being like, you can't post this.
Put your phones down.
But
There
if
are
it was
no phones.
anonymous and someone else read it,
That's
I could,
true.
Sit there in, hidden form and still.
That's actually, that's a good idea to have like the anonymous section. I went right up and read mine from the
You're
7th
brave.
grade.
Yeah, you were the class clown. You're
Well,
comfortable.
Not at that time.
Quite comfortable.
I had no friends at that time.
Okay, nothing to
That
lose.
I shared the entry of my 7th grade boyfriend, and just how we had all gone to see Aladdin. And I really wanted him to hold my hand, and he wouldn't. And I think the line, I may be misquoting, I may have to go back to the little pink Hallmark journal and look at it. It was something along the lines of like, I want to be in a whole new world with someone, like Aladdin.
Aw. But that's the arts.
I know.
That's the power of the arts. It gives you the story that you want.
It does. It
Yeah.
does.
And then you live it,
And
and
then
then you're embarrassed that
you're
you said
like-
it out loud.
I said that.
Yeah. My most embarrassing, that I don't remember who was there, who I said it to. I said, that's not a vampire. I know a vampire when I see one at like 10 or 11. And I still can feel the instant, like, oh God, why did I say that out loud?
Isn't it amazing?
I can feel
those
it
things?
100%.
They
Who
stick with
knows
you.
who they were
Right.
that I talked to, you know?
Right.
But I
This-
said it.
Oh my gosh. This poor girl, we went out to eat today. And we had to pick up some coupons for something. And she's like, yeah, let me go check with the manager. What's your name? I said, my name's Krista. She goes, do you happen to have a last name? And I know.
Nope.
I know. She's going to, I felt in that moment like
Yeah.
she's going to be thinking about this until 4 o'clock.
Yep. But maybe you're Madonna.
Well, that's what we said.
They don't know.
No, actually, I don't have one.
I know. You just say that and then be like, cool.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like when you're a server or you go to a restaurant,
Yeah.
enjoy your meal. You too.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry. I just live up those moments now.
I do too.
Yeah.
Right? Like in the beginning, you're embarrassed about it. And now it's just like,
Like that was done.
today. That's what happened.
Yep. Or if I waved to the wrong person.
Oh, God. I did that even, was it yesterday? I thought it was somebody I knew at
Yep.
preschool drop off. And I was like, it wasn't them. I was like, I just
Good to
really
see
friendly.
you.
I'm just really friendly in the mornings.
There was a woman,
Ugh.
we were doing like a social distancing meetup at Otterbein, just a couple of our college friends. We brought our kids to run around.
Hmm.
And this woman walks by and I was like, oh, it's Laura Lee. Laura Lee. She's like, nope, I'm Jan. I was like,
Perfect.
Jan, nice to meet you. She's like, what's your name? And we
Yeah,
had this
I was
whole
gonna say, you'd be friends
conversation.
now, yeah.
We are. And then everybody was like, you are ridiculous.
But why?
Why? I met a new
It's
friend.
fun. And that's the story for her
Yes,
now. Like
yeah.
she's got a new friend.
She's like this dumb girl. And I'm
Yeah. There's very little that I get embarrassed by now because of those moments of like,
Mhm.
it's the improv thing too. Of
Right.
like, yes,
Yep.
and
Yep.
great, you're not Jan. What else?
That's
You know,
okay.
Or whatever her name
What
was.
do
yeah.
you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you
It's
like
fun.
improv?
I'm not good at it, but I really enjoy it.
Okay.
I think it's very interesting to see how those problems get solved.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Oh.
when it's hysterical, it's hysterical.
Oh yeah.
You know?
With dance improv though. I mean,
Oh,
it's-
movement improv, heck yeah.
yeah.
Some people get really scared by it, especially people who are trained specifically in ballet, because there is no improv. You are told exactly what to
Yeah.
do at every moment of every second.
Yeah.
But I loved it.
Yeah.
It's just like, where do I feel like going? And I think that's why I like modern so much. It's like,
Mhm.
where do you end up? Where did you start?
Right.
How'd you get there?
I like
It can be different every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you'll run out of ideas. I'm like, there's no ideas.
No.
You don't do it. You
You
just
just
move
move.
and you feel it. And gravity does it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I need gravity to do more things for me.
The positive things for us. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go northward for a while. I got a paper cut yesterday, right here.
Those are the worst.
Those are the worst.
But you can't put a Band-Aid there.
Can't do anything
Was
except
it a
open it up.
Cardboard box.
It was a cardboard box.
Those are the worst too because they're so thick.
Mm-hmm. It was
Yeah.
great, and it was for fruit strips that I bought for my children.
At least it's kind of worth it because those are good.
They are pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josie lives off of these fruit snack packs,
Mm-hmm.
and she's very sweet. She's like, "You want one?" But she'll get two, I
Yeah.
think, like 2 packs to
Oh.
share.
Yeah.
But then she really eats most of them, so it's like a ploy to get more fruit snacks.
They're smart though.
They really are smart.
Is there any kid food that you're like turned off of now because of having a kid, or any food in general?
I think it's the off-brand mac and cheese. Aldi's has an off-brand mac and cheese. It's disgusting.
Really?
I don't know what's wrong with it.
Oh.
It's gross. So now I like frou-frou. It's Annie's or it's
Yeah.
Real Craft.
I
Or
don't-
it's homemade. And then it's a completely different genre in my head of mac and cheese.
My eldest just got into the idea that my homemade mac and cheese is really good,
It should be because it's delicious that
but
way.
they wouldn't eat it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't Kraft.
It wasn't Kraft
Mm-hmm.
marketing.
Uh-huh.
Plus, it has a lot more cheese, so maybe they're like less cheese tolerant when they're
Yeah.
kids. I don't know, but
So-
now it's like bring on the cheese. And when you put the little crumb coating on top with the buttery crumbs,
Mm-hmm. I love mac and
Yeah.
cheese.
yeah.
So good.
Meatballs though, I don't know.
No. I don't eat red meat, so I haven't had a meatball in
Yeah.
a long time. Goldfish, those are the ones I
Oh,
can't do anymore.
yeah, I don't.
They're
really-
not appealing.
My mom worked a phase of her life as the stalker of shelves for Keebler.
Okay.
So we got Cheez-Its and gold. I
Yeah.
don't know if, actually don't know if it was goldfish or not, but all those types of things. I'm just
Mhm.
like, it's fine. I don't want them.
Not as exciting when it's right there.
Yeah.
When it's something that you're desiring that you don't ever get.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have sugar cereals, as we called them, except when we went camping. So we'd get like the snack, the variety
Motivation to
pack.
get them to go camping. Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we liked that part too, but we got to have sugar cereals. And now as an adult, I'm like, it sounds terrible.
What are non-sugar cereals?
We were only allowed to have, I think the most sugary was Kix, but it was mostly cornflakes, Cheerios, Rice Krispies, grape nuts.
I remember that. I actually did like that.
I
for a
liked
phase.
grape
Yeah.
nuts. I thought
They
were-
hurt when you like chomp
Sure
on it
did.
wrong, but I thought they were pretty good.
I still like them.
I'm not opposed. I do worry about the amount of sugar and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I try not to create do's or don'ts for Josie. It's just
Yeah.
like this has more nutrient things inside of it,
Mhm.
and this one has a little less. But the whole restricting of things seems like it just makes it that much more tempting that you're like,
Absolutely.
I need to have
Yep.
that thing then.
We actually, sugar cereal was the cause of our demise, getting in
Mhm.
trouble as kids. My parents had a side business cleaning like daycare centers and banks and stuff after hours. So we would go with them and just, read our books and color. But when they were at the daycare centers, they were fun because we could go play on the playground equipment. And one time, I blame my sister. One time she walked by one of the cubbies. She's like, Chris, come here. And some kid had brought in a box of Fruit Loops,
Mhm.
and we were not allowed to have Fruit Loops.
Those, yeah.
And so we
I
just
sure-
started taking handfuls of Fruit
Just
Loops.
who ate all my Fruit Loops?
My dad walked by with my hand in the box.
Oh,
Yep,
you got
we
caught.
got in big trouble for that. We had to write a letter to.
First of
the-
all, you're stealing.
we were stealing. To be fair,
But
We-
your parents pushed you to it.
They
pushed
did.
you in the scenario
they
that
did,
seemed
and
like
my sister made me do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we had to write a letter to the kid,
Mhm.
to the staff,
Fair.
and then we were
Very in
big
trouble.
trouble.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Are you still scarred by that?
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's bigger things that have scarred me, quite frankly. That one's pretty minor
That's a small one.
in comparison.
Yep.
But, my goodness. So you're doing photography tonight. What are your next big projects coming up?
Oh gosh. I am pushing my company and my work to do more retainer type things.
Okay.
Because the project stuff is fun.
Mhm.
But again, that like moving from a nonprofit arts life where you're only paid for the contract that you're under, and then if there's a break, you don't get paid for that, and there's no health insurance and all that stuff.
Yep.
So it's kind of just been a constant arc to finding success and stability.
Mhm.
And so right now I have a few interesting projects that are in the works that haven't been signed yet. So
Okay.
it's like I don't want to talk about those because
Yeah.
but just the idea of like trying to find more retainer type projects that create that stability that's fun in a variety of different places.
Mhm.
So I have a couple of those already currently going, and then
Nice.
just a few that are on the cusp of like signing on to do some additional
Love
things. So
this.
I'm being really vague because it's like I don't want to pull
Absolutely.
anybody out,
Nope.
but it's that
Nope.
shift away from the exciting one-off to the
Mhm.
exciting stability.
Uh-huh.
know?
Funny how we get there. Isn't it?
Yeah. it's
Yeah.
So I mean, having a kid too, it's like
I
I
know.
can't. As a 20-year-old, sure, I'll live in my car for a week.
Mhm.
That's fine. I'm not hurt by that. But like, I'll never let her do that.
Mm-mm.
I will never put us in a position where that'll
Mm-mm.
happen that I can control. If I can't control it and it
Yeah.
happens, like okay, but
Yeah. And you have a podcast too.
I started it. It's hard. You guys doing all this work. I mean, there's
they're doing all the
multiple
work.
people doing it. Yeah. I was doing it, and I probably will still continue when the time comes that I have
Mhm.
more to do, but mostly just focusing on women business owners
Yeah.
and having those conversations with them. And it's just in my house, and
Love
it's,
it.
set up a little setup, not
Mhm.
nearly as fancy and cool as this, but two mics and a camera.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's, I feel like this conversation's gone all over the place, and I think that happens with them too. It's like I have a goal to talk about certain
Mhm.
things, and then we go on tangents about
Yep.
real life. And I think especially with women, we've talked about children, like it's all
It's part of it.
inclusive, which is
Yeah.
why I think the women business owner thing too is so
Mhm.
cool. Of like, we are not just one track.
Mm-hmm.
We have to
We're
encompass
about 75.
so many different things into a successful
Yep.
appearance of being a human.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that and how decisions you choose in business
Mm-hmm.
are determined, or the factor of how is that going to affect my children is
Yeah.
up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's the same for people without children, or obviously because I don't have children, but
Mm-hmm.
or other genders, if I'm being specific.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and I
agree.
think too, 1950s, we were finally allowed to have a bank account.
Uh-huh.
So just that concept of like, we have now the ability to do this. How's it going? How you doing it? What's succeeding? What's
Yeah.
working for you and what's
Right.
not?
Right.
Where the challenges lie and all of that. I think is really interesting.
That is cool. I
So
like that.
I've only done 2 people so far, and
Love
then things got busy. I was gonna post once a day on social media. I made it through like the middle of February. Haven't posted since
That's
then.
okay.
It is April
It's
20th or something. I have no idea.
we've been doing this one for 6 years now,
Wow.
and total.
Yeah.
Now there were a good solid couple of months where it just fell off the radar.
Yeah.
But
It's too hard to do. I mean, I am not a consistent person, so it is hard to do anything
Yeah.
with any level of consistency. Things shift.
things shift
Yeah.
and they change. For me, I just love the conversations.
I know.
I
Yeah,
get to
that's
have.
fun.
That's my favorite part. So
Yeah.
that's amazing.
It's chill. How long? Wait. So how long have you been in this building?
We've been in here since May of last year, so
Okay.
we're not even a full year
Okay.
here. The
Where were
other
you
building was
before?
just up the road about a mile.
Got it.
So we grew out of that space.
Yeah.
It's a good problem.
You made me question for a second. I was like, maybe it wasn't this space if you've been here for 8 years, because I'm pretty sure it was like a
No.
year and a half ago or
Yeah.
something. I looked at
So
it.
it must have been about the same time.
Yeah.
So how can people find you and follow you if you want them to?
If I'm posting ever again, I think my most thorough platform is TikTok right now. So
Okay.
I have a photographer one, which I think is Jay-Z Photography,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. And then I have a single mom by choice one that's Josie. What is it? It's Josie Mama and the Dogs.
Okay.
I think I should know. I don't
That's
know.
okay. I don't know half of
Yeah.
mine either.
But my website.
Yeah.
So jenniferzmouda.com.
Zmuda.
Yeah. The Smith, like the
Mhm.
SM is the ZM, same concept. Some people try to put the vowel between because they're like, well, you never have 2 consonants together. I'm like, yeah, Smith.
But I do.
And Smith,
Yeah.
very basic name.
Travis.
Yeah, right. So many
Krista.
options. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah,
Amazing. Well,
But-
thank you so much for coming on. and-
absolutely. Thank you.
I'll see you in like
I'll see you
2
in like
hours.
Yeah, what
3
time is
hours.
it? Yeah.
Oh,
You're just watching.
yeah.
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 Okay. We'll see
I
how
don't
it goes.
know. You'll probably see me do something work related because that's what I do.
How could you
there.
not? Yeah.
It's my family.
I'm supposed to. This is not important, but this.
Thank you for listening to Speaking.
Oh,
We're gonna keep talking.
go away.
Boxland Media. Think big.